I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Yeah. Ooh. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stays even through the storm. From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. It is still 8:53 a.m. for me, CST, and whatever time it is for you, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. And today we're here to talk about Chelsea Football Club. Yep, we will continue the part two of the Chelsea tier list, the keep, loan, or sell, and also we'll go news hunting. It's a mashup of Chelsea news hunting and also the tier list exercise. Fun, 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 fun today. Although we don't have a lot lined up to talk about, but chances are, because we keep it interactive here, we are going to talk a lot about the small item we have lined up to talk about. And chances are, as the show progresses, more stuff will emerge, and be rest assured, if that happens, this will be one of the first places you'd hear about it. So you're gonna hear about it. So without wasting much of your time, I'm headed to the live chat session. I'm giving the microphone to those of you there, and as usual, the first person, almost always, Mod Mana, of course, but no, I don't want to give it to Mod Mana because Mod Mana is a machine, AI. Always, moment you click live, you're already there. But I have my bro, Mabas 05, MB05, almost always the first person here. Mabas 05 says, give me 1 second here, let me bring on Bobby. One sec. I'll come back to you guys. All right. Mabas05 here says, big up to you too. I'm happy Liverpool sacked Slot. He wasn't a good manager anyway. The only reason why Liverpool won the league last year, because the squad was club's squad. But he was the manager. You have to give him the credit. You can't take that away from him, whether you think he's a good manager or not. But I get the point you're trying to make there. And Ibro, my bro, Dawana Yakake, I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation this particular morning. Okay, Ibro here says, big up to you too. Shout out to Blueco for signing Xabi Alonso ahead of time. Glad the reflection period was brief. Didn't take them much. You could argue they knew that Liverpool, yeah, could possibly sack a Slot, and it turns out maybe their instincts were correct at the time. And had that not been the case, I think they'd be talking with him right now. But it's a good thing. He has more points to prove. Probably, maybe, I don't know. I'm just speculating anyway. He would want to prove to them that, yeah, they made a mistake not approaching him. But that's by the way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. The likes do go a long way as we're getting closer and closer to 30k subscribers. And remember, the promise is that the moment that happens, we will do a Chelsea kit, custom kit Chelsea giveaway, and the lucky winner will get their name on the back of the kit, or if they prefer the cash equivalent, because we understand for some people they have to eat before wearing a Chelsea kit, and it does make sense. We understand things are hard for a lot of my African bros, but I'm happy to say that I already have my bro in Bobby on the panel with me as senior panelist. Bobby, how are you doing? Thank you for finding the time to join me on the panel. I appreciate that. Bobby on the
Yeah,
panel
big
with me
up,
as
coach.
Bobby, how are you doing? Thank you for finding the
Hang
time. We're
on,
getting
let me
echo on
just
your
turn
end,
this
Bobby.
off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but we're
Uh,
very clear, loud and clear, but we were getting echo from your end.
no, I was trying to load another device. Yeah, the Liverpool news. I think it's a welcome distraction from Chelsea, from the mess that is Chelsea Football Club. At least, everybody else, when they make their mess, they have an orderly way of doing it. At least they kept their manager till the end of the season, qualified for Champions League, and then got rid of him, which puts them in a very strong position to get somebody else. Now, they say they wanted um, Xavi Alonso. Look, we're hoping and praying that Xavi is what it says on the tin. Let's put it that way. It's left to be seen, as is anything. It's always a risk in football. But it seems for once the sporting directors have moved correctly, although to be fair to them, they have made a few correct moves like that. But that's not the problem we have. The problem we have is the longevity. Will they, after a season or a season and a bit, as with Maresca, frustrate him to leave. You know, they have spent 106 million, a record amount in pounds, on Enzo Fernandez, only to try and frustrate him out of the club with their mess. I don't really care what happens at Liverpool, to be honest. I really couldn't give a rat's backside. I just, the more disarray they create for themselves, the happier I will be because they have always relished in the problems that Chelsea have whenever they have it. But yeah, I mean, I would suspect Iraola will go there, and it'll be an interesting test for him because
But more importantly, I think it will be plug and play because that squad, the approach, even from clubs days to slots days,
it's the same.
it's the same. Yeah, and that's Iriola squad. That squad built for Andoni Iriola.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll be able to utilize them to do exactly what he wants, and they will continue being the Liverpool that we all know and hate. And that's all there is to it, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, let's go news hunting, Bobby, and I will walk you through where we've how you can say the categories we have on our tier list and get your opinion on where we place some of the players. I will explain our reasoning behind the placement of some of those players. But we're gonna go news hunting first, have some fun, come back to the tier list exercise. But thank you more importantly for joining me on the panel. Once again, I do hope you're doing well. You know how much I respect and appreciate you almost always finding the time to be on the panel and ensure that people get diversified opinion. I don't take it for granted. I hope you know that, Bobby.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I didn't feel the same way, I wouldn't be here. You know, we've come a long way. We've been together for
Yeah,
years, and it's always a pleasure for me.
much appreciated. Thank you so much. All right, let's see, Coach. It's been 5 years since Chelsea won the Champions League against Manchester City 1-0 at Estadio do Dragão. Is that how you pronounce that? Nobody gave us a chance and we did it. Yeah, but we have Dante, the captain of the community, Constantine Dante on the panel. More diversified opinion. Dante, thank you so much for finding the time to join us on the panel for today's Blue Morning Show. Your thoughts on Liverpool sacking Slot and Iraola on the verge of becoming their new manager. Perfect fit, by the way. But I think the focus for us is the sacking of Slot. Why? You could say it made sense that they let him finish the season because sacking him before the end of the season could have, you could say, caused problems for them. But let's hear you.
Yeah, big up, Coach Bobby.
Big up
How's
to
it
you
going?
too.
Sorry, the last question you broke up a little bit. I couldn't
Hey,
quite get
Dante.
it.
Yeah, Liverpool hiring Slot, perfect fit. And I said, but our focus is on, you can say, them sacking, Liverpool hiring, you can say, sacking Slot and Iraola on the verge of becoming their manager. Perfect fit, more importantly, but the focus is on them sacking Slot. They waited till the end of the season, and you could say, because they realized sacking him before the end of the season could have caused problems. I don't know, even though
Yeah.
they were certainly going to finish up there, but I don't know.
Probably contractually as well. When you hit that 2 years, usually a lot of stuff comes off the contract. Or yeah,
Ah, a lot
yeah.
of the
So
clauses become baseless.
yes, correct. So usually after 2 years, there's quite a few things that change on a contract like that. So yeah, probably they just had to wait, and they waited, and made a decision. Well, that means most likely they've spoken to Xavi Alonso, which is interesting because they probably maybe in the background would have spoken to him. He maybe said no or something because otherwise I don't see how they wouldn't really, go for him. So that's an interesting one to see what happened there exactly. Hopefully we'll get more once he does get appointed, when he can start actually talking on the 1st of July. So till then we can't really, we can't really know too much. But yeah, look, yeah, surprising that they let him go. To be honest, mostly for that reason, and I think they were looking a bit better at the end of the season. But those last couple of results, those last two performances of the season, like I said, if it doesn't go very well, don't be surprised he might get let go. So looks like they made a decision. Interesting, very interesting.
Interesting indeed. And listen, I was never against Iraola. It's just the how that's him not being a good fit given the makeup of our squad.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah.
he'll suit Liverpool
Yeah,
more. Yes, he will
yeah,
suit
he's a
Liverpool.
good manager. I was never against him becoming our manager, and I was saying to myself, okay, even if we end up hiring him, I don't think we'd do that without him agreeing to at least start working with what he has until we're able to recruit for him. Then he you could say shift to his approach. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons why we didn't really push for him. But we've learned that Alonso has always been our number one target. Others, you could argue, what we call the smoke screen. The Chelsea squad isn't built for Irala's squad. That's why I am happy we didn't hire him, which makes sense. It would have been a serious mistake within before probably before the end of preseason. A lot of them will be on the trading table. Big up Bobby. Ibro is saying big up to you. Glad to hear your voice. Coachila is still trying to convince us Tosin should stay. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get Bobby's opinion on the tier list. So don't worry. What else do we have? Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream. Even the likes do go a long way. Liverpool players know how to run and press. Chelsea squad isn't built for that. We can press, but not that sort of pressing. Not as aggressively as they do at Liverpool. So let's see. Why is this taking time? News hunting time. Let's see what do we have here. Pinned one, not my interest. Okay. Carlo Ancelotti has confirmed that he's going to keep Neymar in Brazil squad for the World Cup and will not invite any player as replacement. That's interesting. So Neymar is there mainly because of his name, not necessarily because he's there to help. You can say to play and help them win. But that is no Chelsea topic. There may be probably because Jean Pedro would have gotten a chance had Ancelotti decided, okay, since Neymar is injured, let's replace him. Were you
Can I
saying
make a
something?
quick comment on this, please, Coach?
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
Just as a slight digression, and this
Hmm.
is what I call the legacy player World Cup final. It seems all the serious contenders has one old player that they are taking in the squad for whatever reason. I mean, Argentina, Messi, 38 years old. Portugal and Ronaldo, 41 years old, looking for the only trophy that has eluded him. England and Harry Kane. The list continues.
That's excellent observation, Bobby.
So yeah, Brazil and Neymar is not uh, an unusual theme for this World Cup, and it would seem to me that the winner will come out of one of these teams carrying one of these players looking for a final bit of glory.
I think it makes sense because some of them, that's like I said, the last opportunity for them to play in the World Cup and probably will give 1,000% to win it, and it does make sense from that perspective. But Dante, let's get your thoughts. What do you think about that?
About experienced players going to
No,
the World
not
Cup.
necessarily because their age. Because some of those countries they do have other players who are good enough. Actually, that I don't know what's the driving
I
reason
think
and maybe
I think this is
behind.
more than experience, Dante. These guys are on the geriatric side in footballing
Yeah,
terms.
I think it's more than just experience.
Yeah, look, it's surprising to be honest. Usually, like that, they don't usually, take them usually. Now, of course, if you're like a Messi, okay, we can make some exceptions. A Messi, maybe, of course, but yeah, someone like Neymar, look, he had his career, but he's been injured and he's hardly played in
Yeah,
Brazil
that's
either.
a
So
weird one. Yeah.
he hasn't played. He's unfit. I watched one of the games that he played, and my goodness, did he look slow as like
People were
very, very
sharing that
slow.
one on X, saying
He's
"Leave
slowed down.
football,
He's
leave." So
finished.
with something with the caption "Leave football before football leaves you," something to that effect.
Yeah, yeah. Look, it's fine. I mean, he's still earning money playing in Brazil. He's playing for the love of football there. He's not playing really for the money, to be honest. He's just playing because, yeah. But yeah, I don't really agree with taking him, say, over a player like João Pedro, that, player of the season for us, plus in the Premier League, so many goals, and even in the, Champions League, etc. So yeah, that's a bit of favoritism, and I think a bit of connections there involved. And don't be
I
surprised.
read how I read
I,
that of Brazil for me politics because we heard in advance that João Pedro will be dropped over for flies for so that they'd be able to accommodate Neymar.
I,
Politics
I think
and
people
money.
do this.
Money
People
is very
do this.
important.
Go ahead, Bobby.
A lot of countries do this though, don't they? It's been going on for a long time. I mean, I remember. I mean, even African countries. One of the things that brought Cameroon into everybody's vision was they came with some old guy called Roger
Miller.
Miller, and he was ripping up trees. So it's not unusual. I think how old was he? He was like 40 or something.
But they didn't really have players back then, as in
That's the
how
difference,
many.
Bobby. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
have a lot of you could say as many
as many.
talents
Half the
that they
team wasn't
have right
even
now.
proper
But let's hear
professional.
you, Bobby. Let's hear your reasoning.
I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying that it happens, and sometimes, yes, the players, especially when they're legends of those countries, it's very hard to cut them adrift. Now, Harry Kane is, he's
No,
relatively
his
young
case is
compared to the
unique. I
others,
mean, yeah.
but for an England squad going with a 33-year-old striker, I'm not sure we've done that before. And the only reason we're doing that is that he still has the numbers in Germany.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
He,
say, Bobby. Yeah, he's scored 100 goals in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, and he's still as sharp as ever in front of goal. But then you can say the same of Ronaldo, and you can certainly say the same of Messi, even though they're playing in lesser leagues. I can't justify it. I'm just saying it happens, and from there you end up building the World Cup story and all these surprises. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if the winner doesn't come from one of these teams that have one of
Yeah.
these legends.
I think those are, like I said, those are the exceptions. Ronaldo, Messi, they're exceptions. They're extraordinary exceptions because who they are, how they, you know, how they still playing and what they're still doing at that age. They're still contributing. But a player like Neymar, where he's not contributing, hasn't been contributing, hasn't been playing, hasn't been doing nothing. Well, then that's a little bit different. I think there's more, like
That's a
Coach
fair
said,
point.
politics and money. It's money. Money is very much involved there because Neymar would put a lot of money and down. It brings a lot of money for the Brazil FA for him to be there. So they're looking
Yeah.
more at that, I think, than anything. To be honest, the commercial side of it, etc. That's why they're going for him because playing, there is no way they can be going for him the way he's been playing because he has been playing, and when he has played, he's looked like a 80-year-old man playing. So
What other way would it make sense to see it? Is it something like having an old head, and you could say you could call that experience too. There are so many ways to see it. You could say a more experienced player to like help. I'm not sure how else to see it.
it's Coach, for the Brazilian
To
one,
be no. Let's say
Neymar,
it
that's
for
all
the
about money, in my opinion.
no
That's
no.
all
Let's
about
say like
money.
Ronaldo. I think his is just his status, wouldn't it be?
His status, but he's still playing at a high level and scoring at a high. And when he plays for
Yeah, I wouldn't say Ronaldo is playing at the highest level and scoring at the highest level.
not the highest level, but when he does play for Portugal, when they had qualifiers and
He
he's
does well
involved
for
in it,
them.
he scores and assists, and he's very, very much a key part still. So he's still a key part. He's still doing it. He's still putting up the numbers at international level, not
Any
just in.
benefits for the younger ones? That was something there. I'm trying to see from that perspective whether his presence in the squad benefits the younger ones in the squad
Yeah,
from in any way.
it can because they see his professionalism. Because those two, why Ronaldo and Messi are so special is their professionalism and their off-field stuff. How much money they spend on themselves, and around themselves, and what they do. To be doing it at both of them at these ages, well, they do a lot off the field very right. They're very, very professional. So, yes, that helps. But like I said, those two have a little asterisk next to the name because they basically got a free pass. There's no way you cannot take those two because, they're still performing, but the name they are, etc., you just cannot let those two out. Neymar, for example, that's different. For me, that one's not deserved. That's a little bit different because he's not hasn't been contributing nothing or doing nothing. That's just commercial money, the Brazilian FA, etc. Don't be surprised. There's a bit of money in the background. Neymar pumping money so he can go. There's always things like that in those countries. So don't be surprised if that's the case as well. But we'll wait and see if he even plays because it doesn't look like he's going to make the tournament. He got injured again.
Yeah. Listen. I think they have the reasons behind those decisions, but I think we've actually touched. Maybe I'd still say we're speculating, but Neymar's case definitely money, like you mentioned. Ronaldo status, and also he still performs for Portugal whenever called upon. Kane still has it 100%. It's about his numbers. He's still played better than a lot of the those in the late 30s, early 30s, the 20s. He's one of the best, currently, in my opinion, the best striker in the world right
He's
now.
the best striker in the world. I was going
Yeah.
to say he's number one. Yes.
So
even now.
so he's definitely on merit. I get it. England, they're known for usually introducing a 19-year-old, 17-year-old and dropping an experienced head. That has happened on so many occasions, but I don't see any manager that would drop Kane, given the sort of numbers he achieved this past season. But yeah, thank you so much for that.
Number one striker in the world. No,
He is, no question. One of my favorite strikers ever because he's such a complete player. He can actually operate as a 10 and do better than most 10s. He's that good, really.
Yeah, he's unlucky. I think if Bayern Munich, for example, they won the Champions League and he, scored and won, he could be getting that, award next season, Ballon d'Or, if that was the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope he gets it. He deserves it, really. And he's finally winning trophies at Bayern. All right, what's up? What's up to you too, Jeremy? Nice to see you. I extended the quiz by 5 days and I want to reset it so everybody can retake it. Make some corrections to the code that highlights the wrong answers, but I find time to do that. I haven't done it. I just extended it so people can play around with it. Darko Baba right now is basically living in purple rain. Okay, but Drew, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding time to join the conversation this particular morning. And Drew says 1 minute he's crying because Liverpool got Andoni Iraola, while Chelsea got Xabi Alonso. The next minute he's crying because maybe Iraola was actually the better choice after all. Darko, his staying is never to align with the club. That's his brand. I've followed him long enough and I've realized what makes him big is never to align with the club's decisions. Almost always against the decision that the club makes. That's the sort of followers he has. Always, you could say, on the side of those of the population that doesn't support what the club is doing at any given time. If you feel like that's not the fact, take your time, pay attention to him. Every transfer window is a purple downpour of a backtracking where Chelsea are always wrong. Everyone else is always right, and Liverpool are apparently winning the league. Probably he said that when last season when they signed Isaac. He probably was one of those who said if they sign Isaac, that's it, they're going to win the league. So I haven't read this your comment in particular before even explaining to you the sort of person what's his name, Darko is. So you and I agree on that. Yep. Siaka, South Africa, nice to see you. Sorry that I somehow skipped your comment and didn't say hello to you. I apologize. I'm only human here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation this particular morning. And my bro, Richard Hughes. Richard, thank you. Nice to see you. I appreciate you becoming a paid member. We don't take that for granted. We respect that. It shows you support what we do here. And let's go, PSG. Let's go, PSG. Lose Arsenal. I hope they do. But I don't want to state what I think will happen. I hope PSG beats the heck of out of Arsenal, not even 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. I hope they beat them. They regret making it to the final, actually. Coachila, all right, I have a show to host. I'm not going to be there reading about myself. All right, let's see. Emmanuel Okeke, Dalwan, I appreciate you. Who is Liverpool's manager? Andoni Iraola, the former Bournemouth manager, will become, because it's not official yet. But according to Transfer Guru himself, correct me if I'm wrong, nothing official yet, but I think he's, you could argue at the moment he's just leading the race, and it looks like probably it's going to be him. I can't quite remember what I read in particular about that. But thank you for joining. All right, let's see what we have here. Who is this? Fabrizio Romano says, I'm not sure that Liverpool were considering Xabi Alonso as their priority target this summer as new manager. There was never any approach. Liverpool didn't call any other manager this summer till the last 24 or 14 hours when the situation with Arne Slot became clear and obvious. It just doesn't make sense. The season is over. They finished. They have Champions League. They got Champions League football. So what is going on here? Chelsea is broke. Why are they silent on the transfer window? No, that doesn't mean we're
Give me
broke.
5 minutes. I'll shout when I get back.
Okay, bro. We're not broke. I think probably gonna spend, especially now that we don't have to abide by UEFA rules. Dante, am I correct?
Yes. So that some of those restrictions will be lifted a little bit, so we will be able to spend.
Because we're not playing in Europe.
No European competition, correct? Yes.
Wow. Okay. Multiple sources have denied rumors that manager Xabi Alonso has spoken to Judge or any other player before the new season to assure them they are part of his plans. I mean, it's that period where a lot of content creators or ex-juniors make up a lot of nonsense because, we're you could say, yawning for news on what's going on with our beloved club's transfer activities and all that. But Siaka, South Africa, nice to see you. More importantly, I think I've said hello to you already. Yes, he was. Let's see. Mo Salah just posted laughing faces. Players sometimes behave like idiots, really. Why is he doing that? All right, I think this guy is going to be sold. I think the rumors that Xavi spoke to him, I think absolute nonsense. If there are players to speak that he'd be, you could say, trying to speak with right now, it'd be Enzo Fernández and Marc Cucurella. I don't think Judge will be one of them. I don't know. Dante, what do you make of that, the rumor?
Yeah, I saw that. Look, I don't know. It's just a rumor at the moment. He done well the last couple of games. He finished off there. He did pretty well.
But you think he did well enough that Xavi would want to speak with him to keep him?
I don't know. He did move. He was moving different. He looks a little bit of a different player, but I don't know if that's enough or not. To be honest, yeah. Look, he'll probably evaluate him off season and then have a look at him. Most likely, probably that's what they probably meant, to bring him in, and they'll evaluate him when he comes in and off, pre-season, etc. And then they'll make a decision. Most likely, that's probably what it's more than actually wanting him, to be in the squad straight away. No, I don't think that's true. No.
I'd really say that this kid probably already made up his mind that he wants to leave Chelsea. That's how I see it, really.
Yeah, well, there's not going to be any space, especially no European football. I mean, that's at least if you had, Conference League or Europa, you play. But this way, you're not playing at all, hardly, unless you're basically.
Yeah, go ahead, Dante, give me 1 second. So I put something out that doesn't my dog. I don't want that
No
to come
problem.
in.
Yeah, unless you're a top two, in that position, basically two for each position. Well, you're not really going to play too much those third options in that position. I'm not going to get that much game time, to be honest. Especially, you might get a couple of injuries here and there, but yeah, I think the squad will probably be trimmed down a little bit because of that. Because we're not playing in Europe, it has to be, really, to be honest, because otherwise it'll cause Ada headaches, and I'm sure Alonso will do exactly that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Benny McCarthy was beyond excellent. I loved him at Ajax. Was he? Where is did he play again? But I liked him, the South African. Maybe because Mo Salah didn't like Anna Slot, possibly. That again, that's a possibility given their history. If you guys then, yes, you read it by themselves. Good work, guys. God bless you all. Chelsea forever up the Blues. Thank you so much for saying that, Emmanuel Nwokeke. I appreciate you. What else do we have here? We need better, not George. I feel the same, but if the club decides they want to keep him, you can't change that. Let's see. I don't want to read that. Just in, Liam Rosinha was offered to Real Madrid. Real Madrid alerted the police. That's a good joke.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Go ahead. Oh my, that's some cooking right there.
Who's wrote that? A Madrid account looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, Madrid, not even Madrid. This is Madrid Central, but dang it, that's some cooking, and that's not fair, really.
No,
But
that's not very nice.
that's not nice. Rich money makers, much appreciated. He says, "Big up the legends. Congratulations to the Chelsea women winners against Man United. 6-5. Yes, another trophy. Oh, congratulations! At least, yeah, Chelsea won another trophy. More updates on Enzo. Let's hear you. What you got for us? Nothing new except that he wants to leave Chelsea. Let's just leave it at there. And there's still a chance he stays. You never know. Rosinha will struggle at Real Madrid just like his time at Chelsea, but that's obviously a joke. And maybe Vince didn't. Maybe he knows. He knows. Because this is a meme account copying. There's an account called an authentic account called Madrid Central. You know that, right?
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
usually, what people do. That's also an account that you think I've on 2 occasions actually reposted their stuff thinking it was Vince because they're using the same what's it called, the same DP, so to speak. So in this case, instead of Madrid Central, they're doing Madrid Central, and most people don't know. There's another Fabrizio Romano account, Fabrizio something. If you don't pay attention to the handle, you think you're reading stuff from Fabrizio Romano. But Dante Mabasi saying good day to you. 2 trophies
About
for the Chelsea women. Not easy. Go ahead.
just saying, big up to my bust. But yeah, look, yeah, exactly. Look, the women have won another couple of trophies, which is very nice, good news. But I thought
Some
they
fans
destroyed
actually
Chelsea.
want her. Some fans of the women's team want her gone, but she's done well, really.
Of course, it's the first season, a bit of transition, a bit of getting it right. I think we're going to sign a couple of really good players as well for her for next season. There was always transition there. I saw Rich Money Making saying, "Oh, they've ruined the women's team as well." Well, today they just won 2 more trophies, so I mean, you know what I mean. So they're not really ruined, are they? Uh, they had to let go of a couple of experienced players, like my
I wish
favorite
the
one.
men's team have done as well as they've done, actually.
Yeah, of course, they've won everything. They let go, obviously, Sam Kerr and a couple of good players because they had to, because they're coming to the end of their career, basically, and stuff like that. But they're going to sign just as good players, if not, maybe higher potential players than that, because they've already put a couple of bids in for world record fees for other players already. So
Yeah,
they're
they're
not.
looking at high-profile signings.
Yeah, so look, they're all over that women's team, and they're going to do well for a very long time. That women's team, because they're fully invested into that team. So
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And who is this? Douglas Nyambati. Douglas Nyambati, thank you so much for joining from Kenya. I appreciate you. My favorite Kenyan food is called chapati. Ate that at my friend's house when I was still in Jersey. John Ndisu, a very, very good friend of mine. But yeah, I like chapati quite a lot. So every time I go to their place, I ask for chapati. Correct me if I pronounce the name wrong, but I think that's how it's pronounced. Good day to you too, MBO5. Hello in Australia. Yep. And Dante, thoughts on left winger Jonathan Rowe. Would he be a good fit for Xavi's system? Go ahead, Dante. That question was posed to you.
Yeah, he's all right, but he's more of a winger than anything. So, like I said, Xavi doesn't really use wingers as much. He uses wing backs, but that's your defensive wing backs and offensive both. They go up and down, but they're not actual really wingers. So he doesn't use much wingers. He likes using two tens in behind the striker. So yeah, like I said, Garnacho would be a bit in trouble because of that. You'll probably see, even Pedro Neto, to be honest, could be a little bit in trouble because of that. And we saw that him when Rafinha came in. He was one of our best wingers. He was in goal contributions, involved in goals. He was number one for us. Then Rafinha came in, implemented him a bit more on the other side, and used him as a left wing back quite a lot. And his numbers stopped basically. He couldn't recreate those numbers and keep going because it didn't quite suit him. You got to do. It's a different type of mindset, a different way of playing. You're gonna
Yeah,
play
I'm back.
harder and you're gonna give more, but
Okay, Bobby.
yeah, but you're gonna really lack in attacking wise because he's not built for that. He's not built to play that position. So no, probably not. No, we need tens. We need tens in this system. We need more technical players,
Better creators.
more creators, more technical. You want guys like that are really good with the ball, close control, can keep the ball as well. So you give time to those other players to join in the attack, like your wing backs and your central midfielders, and you need to hold the ball up pretty well. So that's why with tens, they got to be very technical to hold the ball up and be able to scan the field
Good
and look around.
vision, good passing range.
Yeah. So those are very important. Yes. So no, I don't think we'll be signing a winger. In my opinion, he won't be signing a winger because we
We
don't
play
need
with
it.
wing
He's got
backs, right?
Garnacho there. Sorry,
He's going to be playing with wing backs,
wing backs. Yes, yes.
which
Like I
renders wingers basically useless wingers. I think we had the same issues on the not necessarily an issue. We had the same situation on the I think it was Thomas Tuchel because he plays with
correct.
wing back, so he
Yes.
uses the wingers in the center more like the two tens.
Correct. So he remember Alonso was good on the left because he was very good. As a wing back, it wasn't the quickest, but because his box crashing was good and he attacking play, and quite very good defensively, obviously. But he had a great shot on him, so he was used, and then he converted. Remember, who did he convert to the right hand side? He even tried Loftus Cheek. I remember as a right wing back, that didn't work too well.
But it wasn't necessary. Let's say what people weren't paying attention to at the time was the application of the role.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Not he. We know Loftus-Cheek. No, he isn't the best defensively. I think what we see it'd be accurate to say at the time, just the starting structure. I think he was, you could say, charged to
Oh,
operate
I really
differently.
need to come in here.
Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
on, go on, go on, continue.
So in Loftus-Cheek case, he wasn't necessarily expected to operate as a wing back or be all defensive and all that. No, I think it was his, you can say, abilities as a midfield was what Tuchel was trying to utilize, and it worked
It worked to an extent,
to
but
an
it didn't
extent. Yeah, but he wasn't
because
really able to make the most out of it.
he didn't quite have the players. Yes, and unfortunately, Reece James was injured all the time, so he didn't quite have the players to execute that system too well. And we saw that's why he left. He fell out. It didn't work quite well, so it couldn't quite do it. You need to be basically that position. You can't be too attacking and you can't be too defensive either. You got to be a bit of both. So Cucurella's will be good at it. He'll be fine. Uh, you know, uh, Reece James, if he does play that for us, would be good, very good at that as well. So yeah, look, it's a position that we'll probably even don't be surprised if we don't sign another one for that position because that's also a very high usage position, as in you run a lot and injuries can happen. fatigue, etc. I wouldn't be surprised if Xavi Alonso might look at another one to add to the squad, another player that can play as a wing back on either side.
Yeah. Bobby, you want to come in
Yeah.
now, or should I get the opinion of those in the chat before you come in?
Yeah, just quickly.
All right, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm glad Dante eventually pointed out the injury situation that led to Tuchel playing Loftus Cheek that way. As usual, Chelsea are ravaged with injuries, and we were making do. In fact, at one point, he even had to play Loftus Cheek at centre back.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I remember that. I think was it in the
yeah,
Champions League game?
I've forgotten the game. I think it was a league game, but he had to go centre back against Palace or someone like that. The I think, in view of what's been said, the people that will benefit from this will be the likes of Cucurella, Hato, Gusto, and Reece James. Well, Reece James anyway because he's the captain, and if they remain fit, he's not really going to do much in terms of recruitment in that area. I think it's important to keep Cucurella. We're talking about experienced players, and that I think is very important. And in Chelsea's case, it doesn't even matter if he's running down to the last 2 years of his contract. I would let him consume his contract and go for nothing rather than lose him in this developmental stage, an important stage of the Xavi Alonso reign, as it were. I think the work that needs to be done is in the attack and in midfield. Our midfield is good, but it's physically not right. And that's where the balance has to come in. As far as using wingers is concerned, don't be surprised if Jackson stays because Jackson could well do that 10 situation teaming up with somebody else. And the thing with Jackson is that he's more than capable of going out wide. I think the wing back
And
situation
he
will,
tracks back effectively too.
he does. I think the wing back situation will benefit, what's his name? Oh gosh, what's the name of, oh, shit.
Who from where?
On the right wing.
Who
The
exactly?
Portuguese guy.
Oh, Neto.
Yeah, thanks. It's me and names. Yeah, I think Neto could thrive of that because Neto does have an engine on him. He does run back and defend. Maybe not well enough, but I think he could learn. Ultimately, we still need to bring in players and still need to get rid of players. And I can see certainly some of the forward line would have to go, and maybe one midfielder,
Yeah.
and it should not be the likes of Esugo. And Esugo can play
Esugo might
offensively in
actually, to the
midfield.
surprise of a lot of people, Esugo might actually stay.
I think he has to.
He might, yeah.
I think he's a better player than people know about.
Yeah. Still very young, but I think he's good. He's a good player, but hasn't gotten too much opportunity and was quite unlucky to have had that injury when Caicedo was suspended. Dante, thank you for answering that question. I think it led to us discussing a lot more important stuff with regards how Xavi, we know he would want to play. And big up, big up, big up to you too, saying hello. Says Dante, would you take Christos Tzoli's at Chelsea, Greece International? Okay, that's the last off-topic question we will take. We have to catch up and move on because we have a lot. We still have to go do the tier list exercise, or you could call it Chelsea keep loan. Also, Dante, that question for you on the screen.
I'll just say no.
Can you elaborate? Why I know?
Oh, I thought we were in a hurry, coach. I didn't want to make it long. So I'll keep it short.
No, to be kind to NBO5.
Yeah,
He's
like I said, we need tens. We don't need wingers. We need more inverted. Well, an inverted winger. If you're going to say a 10, someone that can do that position can go out wide too. But like I said, mind first to be a 10, to be a technical, to be a creative technical number 10. We need that first. Wingers are not that important. The wing backs are the wingers in this system. So yeah, they're tucked in most of the time. Those 2 10s. So you got to have great vision and technicality to hold the ball up, like I said, and get it out wide or in between, or keep a really tight possession in between, like basically a triangle with a striker and the other 10. So yeah, look, probably not. I would probably say no. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I think it would have better have letting you just say no, and we move.
Well,
we move
I
forward.
tried. You didn't let me.
No, we just have to be fair. Okay, Richard is responding to Rich Moneymaker's there. Big up to you too, Jay, my bro. I appreciate you finding time to join the conversation. Let's see, what does he have here? And Richard is saying, Dumornay from Olympic Lyon, and Shaw from Man City. Then the ladies will win everything next year. They forced Millie Bright into retirement too early. Anything you want to add to that comment, Dante?
Well, yeah, Millie Bright. I don't know about too early. She would have made decision as well to retire. It would have been a joint decision. So I don't think she got forced.
I think we think I don't think anybody was forced out, in my opinion, but.
No, it's not forced. There's other things there, obviously, because she's quite mature, quite old as well. So she's coming to the end, slowing down quite a lot. So yeah, look, it's a little bit of transition time, but like I said, a couple of those really experienced, like her and Sam Kerr, well, they are gonna replace those with top class, like trying, like I said, world record bids they're putting in to try to replace those two with others. So yeah, I think that could actually benefit because you're getting much younger players in, playing at a very high level, much younger, much quicker, much more hungry as well. So yeah, Millie Bright, Sam Kerr they've won everything. They've trophies every season. They've won everything. They've done it all. So it's time to move on. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation this particular morning. And remember, it is still the Blue Morning Show. Yes, let's see. What else do we have? Mad Maya, the rapper, says a big up to the legends on the panel. Big up to the chat. Another day, another dawn. Yeah, I agree. Any day above ground is a good day. So I like that, Maya. You sound like a rapper indeed, and I know you're good at it. I've listened to your songs. Let's say what else we have here. Yes, it's been a tournament for 3 days, and we won every game. The trophy celebration and Sky Sports Premier. Did they win the Premier League too? We earn big money for this too. Man United runners up. Did they win the women's Super League, or what is it called? All right. I was just talking
Sorry,
to
Coach.
myself.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
muted. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. But at some point, I thought they were going to lose out. All right. Victor Moses was too attacking in that right wing back role, and he still did well. I'm not. Did I say any person shouldn't be too attacking? I was saying that Loftus-Cheek wasn't necessarily expected to be a defender in that position, but I think it was too complex for him. He couldn't do it. Xabi Alonso does play with wingers. Yep, he played a 4-2-3-1. It depends on the structure, but if he plays mainly with a three at the back with wing backs, it depends. We don't know. He's flexible, but mainly wingers. If he's going to play with a back wing back, if he's going to play with a back three.
I wouldn't look at what he did at Madrid too much, to be honest, because he had to. He had no choice. They did not want to change for him, and that was one of the big problems. So, yeah, his system doesn't work with those type of players they have. So he kind of had to. It was forced, and that's probably one of the big reasons he's not there at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. All right, what else do we have? Yeah, Xabi Alonso will play players in off position. That's how I feel. I don't see it that way. Even from the days of Tuchel, when some content creators were saying play players in their natural position, such thing in modern day football is absolute horse dung. That's you get my point.
Yeah, of course.
It's a matter of the manager's tactics these days. You can be a number 10 and be asked to play you can say DM. It's a matter of tactics. Application is what you pay attention to. Drew says Xabi Alonso has not held any talks with Chelsea players yet, despite rumors of Tariq Judge being told he is a part of his plans. Everton deciding whether to buy him or not, according to Nizaki Sela. Thank you, Drew, for that update there. People saying a lot of SHIT because we're in that sort of moment where they exploit our vulnerabilities, aka you can say exploit the situation. All right, thank you for that. I appreciate you. Big up to all of you. I'm gonna scroll past quite a lot, and then I'll try the best I can to read your subsequent contributions. We just cannot read everything there, but thank you for always contributing. You can start a debate with Mod Mana. NBO5 will tell you how good Mod Mana is at debating. So whoever that did this to Liam Rosinho, that person isn't gonna go to heaven. And I'm serious. All right, Darren Ben suggests Gerald Bowen to Chelsea move. Chelsea can get him even if you got him on loan for a year and see what happens. I think he would be a good signing. I wouldn't mind Bowen. I think he's underrated. He can be physical. He might not be the tallest, but he's a player I like so much. And when the rumors emerged that Chelsea were actually considering a move for him, some Chelsea fans started complaining. Dante, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, look, he's very experienced, obviously, experienced player. He's got a great shot on him, very technical, and works his socks off. Works very hard. Plays. He's not a big guy, but he plays pretty big. So he's a good all-round player. Yeah, he's one of those that if you want to add a bit of experience and you want to bring in someone in, yeah, I think you'll benefit quite a lot from him because he can do quite a lot, I think, and especially that position we kind of need, like I said, in that 10 position. Yeah, that would suit him very, very well, that position, because he does have a very good eye for goal, for shooting, obviously, but also very, very, can create very well. Plays with his head up and very technical, ball close to his feet. So he would be one of those more experienced ones if you want to add around to the squad.
Very hard-working player too, Dante.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, he's a very hardworking as well. So it does all the other stuff as well, all the dirty stuff as well, and the running. And yeah, he would be, like I said, pretty good if you can get him to add him to the squad. But see, players like him usually, there's a reason they stay at these type of clubs where they are is because they get game time. At Chelsea, he just won't get that game time. So that's why you see these type of players stay at these type of club, West Ham, and then go to a mid-table club, and because they're wanted and they get to play. They get to play a lot, and they're happy with that. They're probably not as happy, coming to a big club and knowing the pressure's on, but they're not going to play that much, and that could actually affect a player like that. Because he's one of those that I think that you keeps playing, the better he gets while he plays. But he's not. I don't think he's one of those that stop, start, play every now and then. Yeah, that could really probably upset his rhythm. So that's the only worry you have with players like that. And like I said, that's why they stay at a lot of these clubs. Usually, they don't make that move up.
I think he'd be a starter for us right now. But yeah, I get your point. We have on the panel Tebe. Tabeho, your thoughts. Bowen, would you take him at Chelsea? I will. And as I've said before, I think he's underrated.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I'm not sure about it.
Mm.
I'm not sure. Like Dante, I was listening to Dante. I think we need more 10s than wingers, actually. So that's the other issue with Bowen. Bowen is more
Wasn't
the
that
winger.
exactly what Dante said?
Bowen is not a wing. It's not a 10. It's a wing, a natural winger. I don't think he can play 10.
But he's
He
that
can.
sort of winger that you can actually use
Played
as a
10 as
wing
well
back.
before. He's played it when he was young, and he played it as well for West Ham. He's done it. It's just they use him on the wing a lot. He's got all the technical ability, the vision, everything.
I think he
to
can
play
actually
that
play as a wing back too.
Yeah, and he's slowed down to be a winger. He's going to move inside anyway because he's getting older. He's not going to be playing out wide anymore. He can do it, of course, and he has done it. Like I said, he's played there early in his career as well. So
Yeah, but go ahead, Tobeho. Let's hear you.
No, I don't want Bowen, man. Move on from Bowen, please.
You want to add to that?
nothing to add. No,
No, I asked Bobby. It looks like he could be busy.
he's there. He's just unmuted.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't really know. It's an interesting one. If I heard he was going to rock up at Chelsea, I wouldn't be distressed. But he has to be somebody that uh, would fit whichever way Alonso wants to play and will be effective. Look, the West Ham player I was eyeing was Paquetao, whatever his name was. I don't know where he is now. Is he still at West Ham? Is it Lucas
He went to
Paquetao?
Brazil. He went to Brazil.
He went to Brazil. Now he had
He had to
some.
escape all the charges, Bobby. He ran away.
Right. So he had some controversy about him. Now he's one that I would have very much liked to see. You know, people are talking about Somerville. I think that ship has sailed with the whole Somerville story. But yeah, Bowen he's a goal scorer. He's an aggressive player. He's an effective Premier League player. He won't be a starter at Chelsea. He would have to be rotational, but will he accept that? How old is he? He's not the youngest either, so he might accept it. So let's see. I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion about him at the moment. The only thing I know is that at the moment it just seems we're not addressing our technical problem, and that is height. Now the new centre backs he wants, I think he'll be a fool if he doesn't go for height. But I still think we need it in the middle. And if you're going to get rid of Liam Delap, you've got to bring in another tall guy up front. You know, the physical measurements of the players we bring into Chelsea is crucial for our balance, and we
We have one.
cannot afford
Yeah, we
to
have one
just
coming in
be.
that's very tall.
Sorry.
We've got one coming in that's very, very tall. You'll be
Oh
happy
yeah,
with
you
that.
keep mentioning him, and I keep forgetting him because I think he's left to be seen, and I'm fearing another kind of Tammy Abraham situation. But that aside, let me not judge him before I see him. But we must do that. I mean, you look at all these other teams: Real Madrid, um, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City now, Bayern. They're not going to bring in if they're bringing chasing after a little player. You be sure they have a reserve of tall players, as we know they do in their squads. Their squads are physically very balanced. Guardiola, and what's antithesis of tiki taka, went through height right the way down the spine of Man City, from the goalkeeper to Rodri to um, uh, what's his name, Haaland. You know, they've got that height. I remember even when he was doing tiki taka with Barcelona, he had what's the name of their defensive midfielder? Oh gosh, my brain. There's so
Busquets.
many. Sorry.
Busquets. Busquets.
Busquets, thank you. He had Busquets, you know, and he noticed that lapsity when Mascherano was doing that job. The funny thing about him was that he then he then dropped Mascherano to a sort of centre back floating into defensive midfield alongside Busquets. But even the Grandmaster, like Guardiola, was very much aware of physical balance in the team. Yeah, he didn't get on well with him, but at one point he had Ibrahimovic. He kept with Henri. You know, these were not little guys, although Barcelona was known for its petiteness as a team, but they were so exceptionally good with your Xavis and Iniestas. Even their centre back, Puyol, they were so exceptionally good that they could get away with it. But that's rare. And this is the Premier League. So, in as much as we're talking of Jared Bowens, I remain uncomfortable with the physical side of things. If we've got enough to afford him to come into the squad, fantastic. But if we remain as we are, it's a deep concern for me, especially in midfield. Can't hear you, coach. Maybe you're on mute or you've muted me. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
go
on
ahead,
mute.
Bobby. Don't wait for me. Go ahead. I was on
Oh, it's
mute.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, that's my deep concern. We cannot do the same thing, coach, and Dante, and we've got to do something different. We can't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. And as much as our midfield is very talented, you could see that it needs a height address to make it more effective. And I always use this example. We had Cesc Fabregas and we had N'Golo Kante, some of the best midfielders ever to play the game. But whenever we played them together, it was an absolute disaster because of physicality. And so, was it Jose was the first person? Was it Jose to really address this issue? And then he never ever played them together alone because it cost us a game or two. And he always put them with Matic. Once Matic was there, Nemanja Matic, problem solved. They could do what they do, and aerially we had that cover. We've got to take that into consideration. I can't sing that tune loudly enough.
So,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, Bobby. Thank you so much for that. Go ahead, Tebeho. Go ahead.
so, Bobby, which player do you have in mind to play in midfield for Chelsea? A height and physical defensive midfielder or a midfield?
Well, this is the conundrum, isn't it? Who can we bring in that would be as good as what we've got? I mean, there's Adam Wharton. I think Man City are eyeing him up. We had our eyes on there's some guy. Was he from Palace, or is that Wharton? Is he the Palace guy? One from Forest and one from Palace. I've forgotten who their names now. Shows how much I watch these
Anderson.
other teams. Yeah, well, Anderson, another one. But even then, I mean,
He's short. Bobby. He's short.
um, well, even then, um, we are all hoping and praying that Xavi can work his magic, and if he can manage to get Camavinga, who's wasting at Real Madrid, out and to over to us, I will take him with both hands. Now, I don't know how much of the contract he's got left, but if they are talking and kicking and screaming about Enzo Fernandez, as much as I don't want Enzo to go anywhere, I think an Enzo who is supposedly unhappy, and a Camavinga who is also supposedly unhappy with his lack of game time.
Are you maybe confusing Kamavinga or Chuameni? Which one?
I've heard it's Camavinga that is unhappy with his game time.
Okay. No, because
Yeah,
Chuameni is the
sure,
tall
sure.
one. He's a tall
Do you know
defensive
why I don't
midfielder.
mention Chouameni? Because I would find it very, very, very hard to believe that a manager as astute as Jose Mourinho would let Chouameni leave that club. He is a Mourinho type of midfielder. He is like your Obi Mikel's, your Matic, and some. So I've just forgotten him. But Camavinga, I think there is a chance. It's not a massive chance, but there is a chance to get him from Madrid to Chelsea.
He
Any other
wasn't even
midfielder
All
mentioned
I
I
as
can
one
say,
of.
can.
He wasn't mentioned as one of their untouchables, right?
for Real Madrid.
Yeah, he wasn't. I think their president was
No, no,
mentioned
he's
names of players that you can say that they're not looking to sell, and he wasn't mentioned. Kamavinga wasn't mentioned, but
no,
Chomeni
and
was mentioned. Yeah.
he's not exactly a regular. He's one of those in and out of the team. And yes, he had an injury, but he's never been the sort of flavor of the month amongst the Galacticos. And since his move from Rennes, I think he could do better. And he has developed, he has grown. And a club like Chelsea, who were eyeing him in the first place, would suit him very, very, very much down to the ground. There are issues of cost and wages and so on and so forth. But if you can get Kamavinga, fantastic. And he's a player that has some height. I think he's about 6'1", 6'2". In midfield, it will help us with balance for sure.
All I can say, no more French players at Chelsea for now until we have a balance.
Yeah.
No, no, those guys at Chelsea at the moment, they are not playing very well and they're sticking up their place. I'm sorry.
Well, I can't argue with that. I kind of think Camavinga will be different gravy. We've had a couple of very good French players in the likes of Kante and Makaleli, to mention but a few. But
Giroud.
Giroud, yeah, another one. So I don't know if we can quite say that, but certainly the ones we've got at Chelsea at the moment have not really covered themselves in glory.
All right. Thank you for that. And what's up? Yeah, she's all right. She's been graceful this morning. But big up to you, the Blue Tiffle Game. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding time to join the conversation this particular morning. What else do we have here? Um, let's see. Yeah. Big up. They're saying big up to you, Tebejo. I don't think anything else to address here. Bowen is Premier League proven. It's just that he loves to play on the right, and we all know the right wing position is already filled up. We can have numbers there. It doesn't have to be one person. We need physicality, height, and strength at the back. You work for Bobby now, right? Emera is 6'5". There's a lot to catch up. So apologies, guys. I'm gonna scroll past a lot of your Busquets. I think it was Bobby that was looking for that name at the time. I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom and then I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. I appreciate you, all of you. I'm not intentionally skipping that. They don't want to offer is a 250k, but expect them to sign Kamavinga for 240. We don't know how much Enzo is asking, but it makes sense that what's his name again?
Kamavinga.
Kamavinga's salary will almost always be an issue. So probably, yeah, they won't.
Can I
They're
just
not
add
gonna.
one quick thing, Coach? Just
Yeah, go
another
ahead.
digression because I
Yeah.
was hearing something from someone just now. One of the things that got Arne Slot out of Liverpool was his clash with Mohamed Salah. You see, when you come to a club and there are these players that have done so much from the club for the club, such that even while they're playing, they achieve legendary status. Even when they're on their way out, you have to be very careful how you treat them. The treatment of Rafa Benitez to John Terry cost him his job. You don't go and do these things. There are people like Terry, Lampard, Drogba. Even at the end of their career, even Aspilicueta, even Ivanovic when he was flagging towards the end of his career. You don't come in as a coach and start antagonizing these people. And I think ultimately that's what has, amongst a few other things, but ultimately that was one of the biggest push to get Slot out of Liverpool. And
That
they're a
might
very
have.
proud
Yeah.
club. They're very loyal to their players and things. And you don't do that. You don't
It
do
makes
that.
sense, and the fact that we're hearing that Salah posted a laughing emoji, yeah,
Yeah, Salah is very powerful in that club.
he
The
is.
fans love him. And Liverpool fans don't joke with their legends. You come in there, you look at what Jamie Carragher was saying. Jamie, they in the media, they're ex-players, the way they band together. So Slot really drove a huge nail in his coffin with that one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, because he won them the Premier League and thought he could do it and get away with it. It's a job. He's just a DM who sits at the back. Okay. As if it says, Adagua is the only player I will sign from Madrid unless they want to sell Dean Harrison. I wouldn't mind Adagua, and the fact that he has a good relationship with Xavi. He even said publicly that I think after a particular game, Xavi sent him a message telling him how proud he was because of his performance, given his performance on the day. I don't want Dean Harrison. Whether the manager wants him, we don't know. I know Konaté is horrible, but at least someone with muscle. But the problem is that we need a centre back that communicates well with it, with the back line, especially the goalkeeper. Colwell is doing a decent job. I think he's doing really well in that aspect, in my opinion. And Richard here is saying, I don't think Rafael Benitez treated Terry worse than Andrea Villalobos. Yeah, that's another man that took that risk.
Yeah, that's another one. And see how
Yeah.
long he lasted.
Yeah, that's another one. Felipe Scolari, two were the worst Chelsea hiring coaches of all time. You could say, and to some extent, that is politics. They didn't play the politics well, and it backfired spectacularly for all of them. Let's see. Okay, we was looking at this player in midfield, but finally, sometimes I find it difficult to read the way some stuff are phrased because that's not the sort of person I am. But I'm gonna read it anyway. For Rich Money Makers, we was looking at this player in midfield, but finally our scouts have said that he might be too small to sign. Angelo Stiller, he's just 6 foot. Tell Bobby. Okay, I'll call him and tell him if he wasn't listening. All right. Anybody else want to add anything to that? If not, this is João Pedro is continuing to train twice a day from home, including physiotherapy sessions, while he waits to see whether an opportunity emerges before FIFA's final squad deadline on June 12th.
Very wise.
Yeah, go ahead.
Very wise.
Yeah,
He
very wise.
does that. Personally, I would rather he didn't go. That's for my own Chelsea reasons. But it's wise. It's wise. But to be honest, realistically, it's not likely. Ancelotti's not a man that will say something and then he's not double-minded. He's chosen Neymar. Unless something drastic happens, Neymar is going to be on that plane for Brazil.
Yeah. Anybody else want to add to
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I've saw a tweet from Fabrizio Romano said Neymar will be available, so there's no way João Pedro will go to Brazil, unfortunately.
All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Coachila, I want Angela Stiller at Chelsea. He would be a perfect Enzo replacement. He is the next Toni Kroos. I don't think we'll be looking for a replacement. I think we'll be looking for what the manager wants. Maybe the manager would want the dynamics of the team to change a bit. It's not a bad shout. He's not bad, but let's see what the club does. Should shout my name as well. It's difficult. Just go with enjoy MB05. Let's see. Creamati 8968. Thoughts on Santos in his future? I want him to stay, and I think he's going to stay. I don't think we're going to sell Santos.
Yeah,
That's more.
he's still young and he's developing, so no need to sell him
Yeah.
until he be on his peak. Then will be a regular starter. But for now, let him develop. He's still young, man. We don't need
Yeah.
to sell him.
And every time he gets again, he's done well whenever called upon. And I don't think Chelsea would look to sell him. No, he's
Exactly.
yeah. Dante, your thoughts? Santos.
Yeah, look, he's going about it the right way, I think, and the club's going the right. He's slowly developing, slowly getting used to lifestyle and the Premier League, and as long as you see a little bit of improvement each season, well, he's going to stay. And I think he's that type of player that likes it that way. We've seen that at Strasbourg. He's done it the same way, and in his youth as well. So he's one that's got a good head on his shoulders, and Yeah, he's gonna take his time, I think, and that's the way to go about it. And I think that will really benefit him and us long term.
Do you? I think he's improved significantly. How about you?
I wouldn't say significantly. I think just small steps. I don't think significantly because then he would probably be a starter if that was the case. So, yeah, slowly. He's had a few problems as well. He's played a couple of good games, and then he had when he did start 3 games in a row when he had that run a little bit, but then he also did a few things wrong as well. So, yeah, look, he's developing nicely. There's no rush with him, especially if he's that type of player. It comes across to me as that type of player that likes to take things a bit slower. And yeah, I think that's just going to, like I said, benefit us really well in the future because, yeah, he's not one that will complain too much or want out straight away, etc. So, yeah, like I said, he's
He
very
does
mature
seem
for
like
his
a
age.
humble kid.
He's a humble kid. He's very mature for his age. I think he had his second child already. if
So
I'm,
yeah, that humbles you. Whether whether you want to be humble or not, having 2 kids humbles you.
yeah, I think he had. I can't remember for sure. Maybe Tobago knows, but I think I
Yeah,
definitely has
yeah,
one baby. But I think he might have
Even
had a
he did
second
say
baby
second.
now.
something about his second child.
Yeah,
Yeah, second child is, I think it's coming
yeah.
already,
So
somewhere there.
Yeah, see, he said something to that effect. Yeah.
yeah, so both those, yeah, the babies and that, you be in London, they will be born there. So that also, they'll actually have dual citizenship, English and Brazilian. So, yeah, look, I think he's one of those guys. I saw it in Strasbourg when he came in, took his time a little bit, but then obviously flourished. And I think this is,
And the club likes him.
I think it was a good season. Like I said, he took it a bit slow. I think, but I think that's perfect for him. That's what works. Don't be surprised next season you see him feature a lot more.
Bobby, how about you? Santos. What do you make about his future? Is Bobby still there?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to unmute. Yeah, I think Andre Santos has got a future. I echo what Dante said. He's developing slowly. He has to take it a step at a time. I think he could be the dark horse. As I said, and I keep reiterating, I do not want Enzo Fernandez to go anywhere. However, if he does, it wouldn't
If it's not
surprise me,
committed, maybe.
or if he's not committed, it wouldn't surprise me if Andre Santos is the player that can step into the breach. Especially, and I'll repeat my words again, if there is the right height and physicality behind them, Andre can move forward a little bit into that 10-ish position that Alonso likes so much. Having said that, since he plays with 2 10s, that will make him favor Enzo a lot more. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with or without Enzo. Andre is developing and will should be encouraged to go on with what he's doing, and not a lot be expected from him immediately. He's had his first season. He's got another season coming, and then we give him that time.
Yeah, he needs that time. He's improving, and I like his humility. I talked to people saying Sao Chalo, about me personally. I think he should be tenured till he retires as a backup. Yeah, third or fourth choice. Houston, everything comes down to what the manager wants. I'm just going to leave it at that. Can we do better than Chalobah? Yes. But I think calling him back, you could say, terminating his loan contract at, was it Crystal Palace for me, turned out to be one of the best decisions that our current owners have actually made. Whether you think it's good enough or not, because yeah, he did well. Was pivotal to us winning the Club World Cup and making it into the top four. He's not been the most consistent, but if he will be content to maybe competing with other people or being a squad player, that's up to him. But I'm not the manager. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'd say he might actually leave. But let's see what happens. Whatever happens, he's getting. If he ends up leaving, make sure we're signing a much better player, better and committed player. My understanding is Andreas Santos isn't for sale for now, coming from three sources. I believe that because yeah, he's good. I love Chalobah. Keep Chalobah, a very good squad player. Would he want to be a squad player? That's the question you have to answer yourself. For me, I would keep Chalobah a very good squad player. I feel the same too. But Dante, I wanted to ask you, how does Santos compare to Granit Xhaka?
Well, different size first of all. Different, is a different type of player. So
Santos
look,
is taller, right?
no, Xhaka's taller.
Is Xhaka taller? Really?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, Xhaka's not a little guy. He's not a small guy. So yeah, look, eh, Santos likes to spend that little area. He likes to, dictate that little area, more of a central midfield, defensive midfield area, quite a lot. He doesn't really go much forward, to be honest, and we kind of used him that way as well. We saw him a couple of times push forward in a couple of games, but normally doesn't get that much forward. Even at Strasbourg, when he did, he was probably crashing the box every now and then, but mostly you'll see him in that area. He's more of a sitting type of player than someone that goes out and explores a bit or goes to the left, right. He likes to sit in that area and dictate play. That's his sort of game. Xhaka, well, he's a bit more that way now, but he wasn't when he was younger. He's all over the pitch. He can run everywhere. He was. Yeah, and obviously he's a little bit taller as well, much stronger as well, Xhaka. So yeah, it just depends. Yeah, if this Xhaka or the Xhaka before. So yeah, you look at Santos. He plays slow as well. He's not one of those players that will play too fast, push pace. He likes to. He's one of more of those that likes to control and likes to slow the ball down and keep a bit of possession and pass it around. But where Xhaka was a lot different. He's long balls. He's like to long
He
balls.
has better vision. Yeah.
Yeah, much better vision. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, look, a bit of a different type of player. Like I said, one's more erratic, faster, more aggressive, and Santos is a more slow, controlled, keeping tiki taka, small passes around. So very different when it comes to that sense. Yeah, so it just depends on the play and the formation you're playing and who, like Bobby said, who you have around you is very important. So yeah,
yeah. Also, Shaka is technically good.
he is very good. Yes, yes, but yeah, the big difference for them is the way that the speed that they play the game as well. Like I said, more of a sitting player, and Xhaka's not a sitting player. He is now because he's older, but he still does quite a lot. And the passing and the vision and the long balls and aggressive tackling and obviously aerial ability, Xhaka's a lot better at that than Santos. Santos will grow into that hopefully. We'll see, but I still think he'll probably be a sitting player. He's more of a yeah. He doesn't like to roam too much, to be honest. He's more of a sitting player.
Yeah, coach likes to meet himself.
He's muted again. No wonder.
Coach likes to
I
meet
didn't think
himself.
he'd be
Okay.
quiet for that long. That's not impossible.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
impossible.
sorry, was that a question for me? So,
If you want to chip in, now the question that we're trying to, you could say, highlight how Xhaka differs from Andreas Santos, because if you pay attention to how they like to keep it simple, it's easy to conclude that both are actually like for like, but they aren't really. There are a few differences there. One has better vision than the other. I can't quite, and let me not just go, you could say, leave it on a surface level. They're not quite the same, but they have a lot. You said the way they like to simplify it and keep it close and tight is something they have in common. So we're trying to highlight how they differ, Bobby. Xhaka and Andrea Santos.
I've never really thought about it, to be honest, but thinking about it, the first thing that will come to my mind, I think, would be probably the height. Not that Xhaka is particularly tall, but I think he would seem to be taller than Andre Santos.
He's
Yeah,
much.
Dante
So,
says
Santos
he
is
is taller.
5'9", I think. Xhaka's 6'1", 6'2", something like that. So there is a big difference. Yeah,
oh, there
it
you
doesn't
go.
sound much, but the way they play as well. Xhaka's like he plays tall as well. That's why.
Go ahead,
And
Bobby.
that is exactly the sort of thing Chelsea's midfield needs. He has a lot of experience. I don't know why he fell flat at Arsenal. It just didn't happen for him
Did
at
they really
Arsenal.
know? I think Ateta wanted him gone. I think he was scapegoated in my opinion.
Yeah, whatever is the case. I mean, his performances weren't what he's doing at Sunderland. So yeah, I think he seems a decent enough player for sure.
All right, thank you for that. Let's see what else we have here. Xhaka will be a great addition, especially for the young boys. We need some experience. I am tired of seeing Palma and João Pedro going to clubs. Houston, I wouldn't mind Xhaka as Chelsea. His Premier League experience, very experienced, and would I think he'd make life the implementation of Xavi Alonso's approach a lot easier. And we could be looking at him and nobody will know because I don't think his salary is something crazy, but maybe it's
Yeah,
still
he's on
some.
120.
Yeah, so that's not a lot, and Chelsea can bump it up to 150, 200 for him. But I think Sunderland would want to keep him. If we come, they try to give him another contract. Whether you could say, be open to moving on from Sunderland to Chelsea, I honestly don't know. Watch, we will sign James Ward-Prowse. I don't think we will, but I will not be surprised to hear that we're looking at Xhaka. Because yeah, his boss is Chelsea, former boss is at Chelsea right now, and he would be a good addition. So let's see.
I don't think he's
Xhaka
going
left
anywhere,
Arsenal
Coachy.
because he
They
had,
got European football as well. No, he's
yeah,
not going anywhere.
exactly.
Leave
We
that there.
don't. Yeah, Zaya to wanting to go back to Germany. Plus, he was talking for a return to Germany. Was he really? No, no. I think the fans were booing him. Sometimes they even took the captaincy off of him and gave it to who was it? Odegaard or so. But I can't quite remember. So let's talk about Nicholas Jackson. I'm quite sure we've all seen the rumors. Why didn't I pay attention to the sources at the time that Xabi Alonso we get the opportunity to assess him? It looks like it didn't sound as if you could say it does sound as if they've already heard from Jackson and they've learned that he's willing to continue at Chelsea. And the only thing that remains would be for the manager to take a closer look at him. But Tebeho, let's start with you. Do you see Jackson remaining at Chelsea, and do you believe the reports that, yeah, basically the reports suggesting basically he'd be part of the preseason and the manager will get to look at him, assess him maybe. But let's say you, Tebeho.
Yeah, for me, it all depends on Mega's performance during the preseason because I think João Pedro will eventually be our number one. So it's between Mega and maybe Jackson. If Liam Delap and the other one, Magui, I think they're going to be sold. But in terms of Jackson and Mega, I think maybe one of the two. If Omega do very well during the preseason, I think Nicola Jackson will be sold, especially the way he left Chelsea. If your agent saying nasty things about Chelsea, the plane doesn't go back, this kind of stuff. I think that might be a problem as well. We also with the Chelsea fans. So let's see what's going to happen. For me personally, if we're going to loan Omega, I wouldn't mind keep Jackson. But the other issue, will Jackson be happy being number one? Number two, I mean, of João Pedro? I'm not sure about it. So let's see.
Yeah, it's not as straightforward as a lot of people think it'd be. Some people are already celebrating the possibility from remaining at Chelsea. I'm gonna have Bobby speak last about this particular topic. Dante, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, look, that's obviously gonna be important the preseason and what they do with Omega coming in. And will Jackson really get a go? Well, we'll have to wait and see if he didn't burn that bridge like we think he might have. But you never know. We're not. There's no certainty about it. But it did sound like that way, the way they were talking about it. So, can they? Will they forgive? We'll wait and see. If he does come in, well, then yeah, obviously it will be between him and Omega. Probably the lap if he's still there. They'll go at it. And Alonso will decide. He will have to decide who he wants to keep out of those. Not having Europe will really, cut the game time down quite a lot. So I think definitely two of those will probably be moved on. Which two he decides to keep, we'll wait and see. But yeah, you never know. We could not rule out they might look to sign someone else as well. You never know. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But in my personal opinion, I think he probably burnt that bridge a little bit. And yeah, I don't know if that's quite
Yeah, the
fixable.
fact that we tried to get him to not still leave, and he refused.
Not just refused, because you can refuse nicely. He didn't quite do it very nicely, and his agent didn't do it very nicely either. So so it didn't look good. These owners and these directors, how will they perceive that? How will they take that? Will they, keep that and prove a point like we've seen in the past, or will they let it slide and be a bit lenient? Well, I'm probably leaning towards not being very lenient. I think they will not take that very well because, yeah, you kind of want to set an example as well in a way.
Yeah, I agree with you,
And
Bobby. Your thoughts? Is he speaking already? Go ahead. Who was speaking?
no, before Bobby talk, and another thing, no, next season we won't have an European competition, so will he have enough game time? That's another thing. So I think our squad playing this summer should be smart because we won't have extra competition. That means most likely we're going to play every one game per week. So some mana players might be unhappy with their minutes. So I think that is crucial as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, he was Coachila. Who was what? On Google. Okay, I've already searched it, and it says that he has a desire to go back to Germany. Yeah, but I'm not saying that was. I'm just saying there are other factors too. Maybe does that make sense to you? And Jay is saying, "How no to preseason gimmick?" I mean, it's up to the manager to take a look at them and decide. The lap looked good in preseason, and we saw how he went. How he went in the season as the season proper began. Emera can do a hat trick in preseason, and still we should not go into season with him as our second choice. Okay, up to. I mean, it's up to the manager now. We can't change that. But I trust Emera would do well at Chelsea. But we're not even certain whether he returns. Chances are the manager decides Jackson and João Pedro Emera out on loan. I don't want to see Emera next season, guy. Why do you guys? Why do you guys not like him? Let's see what else we have here. Let's see Palmer. Palmer played well with Nico. Yeah, that's another for me, another layer for that. With Nico Palmer without Nico Palmer struggled. Bring Nico back. Let's give him a run, or maybe see what happens. Whether Palmer's fortunes would you say would change. Anything else? Yeah. Hey, to you too, Saidi Ahmed. Hey, bro, out. To find experienced players like Granit Xhaka, I think it's not good to bring players like Xhaka, age 34. It's not good. Find players like Gumieres, Tonelli, Elliot Anderson, or Adam Watson. Ahmed, let's see what the club does. All right, Bobby, your thoughts on Nicholas Jackson, the possibility of him still playing for Chelsea, and have you seen the rumors? What do you make of it?
Yeah, Jackson. You all know that I'm not against Nicholas Jackson. I never wanted him to leave the club in the first place. I don't think the Chelsea ownership are in any position whatsoever to take decisions based on sentiment or emotions. They just have to do what is right for the success of Chelsea Football Club. And if that's Nicholas Jackson, so be it. I do believe that the preseason will be an eye opener. It was preseason that established him at Chelsea in the first place. He had a very good preseason and went on to have a very good season. I think Nicholas Jackson is an underestimated player because of the glaring misses he has in front of goal. That's his Achilles heel. But when you think in 2 seasons, he's scored 30 goals and not one of them was a penalty kick, he brings a lot to the table. His movement is what I think had helped Cole Palmer. I thought he was massive in the performances of Cole Palmer, and it's no coincidence that in his absence, Cole Palmer's form, injury aside, has dipped considerably. Nicholas makes things happen. When Pochettino was in charge, a lot of the expansive and offensive play that Chelsea had in the attack came from Nicholas Jackson. Now we're talking Omega. Are they the same type? I don't. I very much doubt it. I don't think there are many of his type. He floats to the wings comfortably, left and right. He creates a lot of angles that is important in creating chances, and it helps. What punished us was the lack of finishing ability, because if you look at the chances created by Chelsea teams with Nicholas Jackson in it, it was an incredibly high number. Now, is he going to come back? It's a big question. A lot depends on Alonso. A lot depends on what Alonso would say to him about where he wants him to play and how he wants him to play. If this utilization of tens is his sort of way of playing, then I think there would definitely be room for Nicholas Jackson. And what's his name? Omega may have to find himself rotating. Now, yes, there's no European football, but we forget, Man United had a fairly sizable squad, even if they didn't have European football last season. So that may not really interfere with things, especially if we can go far in the domestic cups and exercise a lot of the youngsters that way. I don't know. Time will tell, but the transfer, the preseason is going to be an eye opener. If he's going to hang around, if they have discussions and they find that he's adamant he wants to leave, then sadly he will be sold. But if he's not that adamant he wants to leave, which is what the kind of rumor I'm hearing, although we're hearing rumors that he's insisting on being the main striker, I
That's
don't
never
know.
gonna happen.
No, well, that can't happen. Chelsea don't play that way anymore. I don't know. Maybe he wants to go back to the days when he was the only striker and Chelsea had no options. Well, that would be his escort to the front door of Stamford Bridge. I don't know. Time will tell. Depends on how he talks with Xavi, how Xavi wants him. If Xavi feels he can use him, but nobody can really say for certain what the future of Nicholas Jackson holds with Chelsea, other than the fact that he still has, is it 6 years or so of
Around that,
contract
or
left?
maybe a little less. But
Well,
it
he
it
signed an extension, didn't he?
who
He signed an extension along around
did
this.
Jackson sign extension?
Yeah, he did. I'm sure he did around the same time as Cole Palmer and the rest. Um,
He got a pay rise, but not an extension.
Okay,
Like
not an extension. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, he had a 7 or was it 8 year contract anyway.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so at the very least, he'll have 6 years, or maybe five at best. He has a long length of contract, so he will be sold for a fee if that comes to it. Look, I'm resigned to the fact that at least one or two or three of these somewhat first teamers will have to make room for others. But my eyes are on the likes of Desassi, though he's not in the first team, but the likes of Badia Shield. I think he needs to go. I'm not sure Fofana would be sold. I think Fofana seems very much to me a Xavi Alonso type of player. The only thing that could work against him is his injury record. But I think he's the kind of player Xavi would like to work with and turn into get him to fulfill his potential. But if not, I can see him being shown the door. A lot depends on who is coming in the centre back positions and various other positions in the pit on in the first team.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bobby. Tomato, over to you. Look at the tier list we have. I was able to save and load it. It's working properly. And should I read it out for you or can you see it?
Now I can see it, coach.
All right, Bobby, if you're paying attention, for starters, we have Colwell, Hato, James, Lavia. Squad rotation, we have Kenda, Sa, Chalova. And the Lone Army, we have Sat Pies, Dastan Sat Pies. We have Anselmino, Achampong. For sale immediately, we have the C, Badia Shile, Adarabioyo. I didn't want him to be sold, but yeah, more people said he should be sold. For Fana, NATO, and for any of those players, if you have questions as to why we have that player in that category, we will try to explain. Jorgensen and, of course, Ganacho. And then sell with forced refusal and or maybe buyback clause. That's Shim Nhoka and Pies. Let's say you. Tebeho.
Yeah. While Lavia is a starter, for me, Lavia, we gave him enough time, and then 3 seasons, he haven't played 90 minutes. Always on the medical department beds. Ah, man, I'm tired of Lavia. As much as I love him, I think it's time to move on. We need to sell him and get a reliable midfielder that whenever we need him, will be available. And also last season and the other season, we were so lucky that Enzo Fernández and Caicedo were most available. If we didn't have that, would have a collapse during those seasons. For me personally, as much as I love Lavia, I think it's time for him to leave Chelsea to sell him, and then maybe his career can evolve somewhere else. But at Chelsea, I don't think he will do well because it's always not available for us. So why are we keeping a player that is not available for us? You're on mute.
We considered his age. Thank you for saying that. We considered his age, the fact that he's a good player. And one factor that a lot of people seem to leave out is the fact that the club wouldn't want to sell him at a loss.
Coach, can I quickly jump in here about
Yeah,
Lavia?
just 1 second. Let me explain. So that's the reason why we have him as a starter. He's capable. He's one of the best players in terms of beating the press. He's better at beating the press than Enzo Fernández and even Moises Caicedo. I don't think we have any other player in that midfield right now that's capable of beating the press the way Lavia can. That's just my opinion. I haven't looked at numbers, but I've seen him enough to know that's the case. So, and he's still young, and chances are you sell him now, and boom, he overcomes the injury, and that's something that's very common with young players. Remember the case of Ian Robin. I think there's another example. Who else we usually mention when we talk about how younger players can outgrow whatever injuries that plague them at certain point of their age, but. That's one of the reasons. That's the reasons why we have him on the starters list. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, Lavia, I don't know what the coaching team looks like, but this is where the medical team and physiologists really need to help the club. Um, this is 3 seasons. Now, we are still looking at the Lavia 3 seasons ago. When you've not had football for 3 seasons, yeah, people can say, yes, he's had a few games here or there, but this guy hasn't finished 90 minutes in 3 seasons. The amount of retardation that puts into a player's progression is massive. I think that's what's the problem with Fofana. Fofana is not playing at the age he is now. He's playing at the age he was 4 seasons ago. because he's had four. This has been the longest period of time we've seen Fofana play at Chelsea since he's been here, and even then, it's not been a full season. So we need to really take a professional decision about Lavia. I see what you're saying. I understand it. The difference between him and the likes of Iron Robin is that Iron Robin was brutalized out of playing. Maquena broke his toe. That was a long injury he had at Chelsea, and various other injuries that he had were uh, impact injuries. So yeah, okay, there were some muscular injuries, and yes, he was young, and yes, when he went to Bayern, they used him judiciously and then got the best out of him. It happens. Can that happen with Lavia? Nobody knows. This is where professional diagnosis and prognosis has to be given before Chelsea make a decision on him. I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed because he owes us, but if he stays, just as we have seen in the recent games, albeit they're chaotic and they didn't have any proper manager there, but we've seen that his development has been retarded and he's not performing to the levels that we were expecting of him. If anything, when he came on and played, there were many a times he became a hindrance in the midfield, losing the ball, passing backwards into trouble, all those sort of clumsy things that happens with a player that's been out for a long time. So Lavia, well, we need to wait and see, but we have to be patient, and he has to, excuse me, he has to be, if fit, rotational. He just has to be a squad player for now until he proves himself.
Muted again, coach.
You're mute.
Yeah, Dante, anything else you want to add to that?
Uh, no, we discussed it quite at length. We did, but I think definitely he should stay. I think the quality is
Maybe
there.
squad until he proves that he can stay fit.
100%. Yeah. Look, the quality is there. He's a very, very good player. He's a Alonso would really use him a lot, in my opinion, if he does stay, because he likes that type of player, a
He's
bit
capable.
stronger.
Is he capable of doing the Xhaka role for him? I think he is.
He is, of course. He's very strong. Uh, he's very strong. He's very press resistant. Keep the ball. He can, get it out wide, control tempo. He's a very, very good young player. The injuries, I kept saying all along he was gonna probably get these injuries as those muscular players at that age when their body's changing. It nearly pretty much always happens. So very well known in the field that happens. It's usually they get over that after the growth stops, and he's exactly at that stage. The growth's stopping now, so his body should be settled, and you should get a good run at it from now on. So yeah, look, I think he stays, and the other reason we can't really sell him anyway. He hasn't played enough. You're not going to sell him right now. Worst case scenario I can see happening would be probably a loan if they want him, to play, a lot consistently. If they get a really good loan for him, they might look at that. But otherwise, I expect him to stay and be a rotational piece at first because he's too good, and especially for a Xavi system like that, I think he'll suit that very, very well in that position. Beating the press, we don't have anyone that can do that like he does. That's his probably his strongest asset, and that is a very strong asset of Xavi Alonso with those two guys that play in that position. So I expect him to stay, and I expect him to feature quite a lot actually if he does stay.
So, any other question?
No, I already made up my mind with Lavia, so I don't have anything else.
Okay, so you're good with where we have the rest of the players.
Yeah, you put him as a squad player. I think that is okay for now. But for me personally, I would sell him. But he as a squad player is okay as well.
Yeah. Bobby, any questions with regards to where we have the players? All right. So Tabeho,
You
let's go.
see,
Go
the
ahead.
huge issue with Chelsea, which I'm very, very interested in seeing, is we're not, why we're umming and ahhing, talking about this player, that player, this and that. It's because the squad is not a bad squad. It's just imbalanced. And it just needs tweaking here and there. And it can challenge for the Premier League with the right manager. This is the thing, and this is why this summer is going to be so important. I don't think the squad needs more than about three players. I don't even think they need a goalkeeper, certainly not Mignon, unless Alonso is somebody that insists on playing out from the back. Then you can't do that with Sanchez, But I think Sanchez is okay enough. And why am I saying that? Because if Penders is his succession plan, if Penders comes in place of Jorgensen, we have a conveyor belt of ready-made goalkeepers which will prevent us having to spend money and which will help us with the European sanctions when, please God, we get back into the Champions League the season after. Now, the luxury we also have is that if they decide to give Penders one more year at Strasbourg because of his age, they can then promote what's the name of the other guy? Slonina. So it's the goalkeeping area seems okay. It's all about the tactical use of our goalkeepers that's going to dictate everything. And this idea of playing from the back with a goalkeeper like Sanchez, it's ridiculous. I mean, Donnarumma doesn't do it well. Many a goalkeeper don't do that well. Many. It's a rare talent to have, and it'll be stupid and disappointing if Xavi Alonso goes back along that route. So apart from that, the tweaks are minor and probably be made mainly based on any player that's leaving. I, you know, he has. I can see why he took the job because a confident manager getting in the right type of players could get this Chelsea team right up there, especially with no European football. That is, and they retain their stars. We've been agonizing about Lavia. I think Lavia needs to prove his fitness. If he stays, happy days. But he can't be a regular because he's proved us not to be able to be a regular. So if he's going to change that, even better. But that aside, we've got a pretty good core. And if we add the right players, bring in the right balance, we're going to have a very, very, very strong team. But time will tell because we've been here before and the sporting directors have just brought in
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. Here's why we have Shim and Pies in a cell with a first refusal and buyback option. Tabeho, do you understand why we did that, or do you need me to explain?
no, I understand it in terms of that, but I just wanted to add something in terms of goalkeeper. Of what's Bayern Leverkusen, their goalkeeper was awful in terms of passing, but he was experienced and a good showstopper. So I don't think Xavi Alonso, the way he played at Bayer Leverkusen at Real Madrid, he really needs a goalkeeper to build his play, those kind of things. For me personally, I will have Sanchez and Pendes next season to push each other. Then maybe after 1 or 2 seasons, eventually Pendes will be a number one. For me, priority is a centre back, maybe two centre backs, or at least one centre back and two wingers, especially on the left there. Maybe winger that can play the 10. For me personally, I don't want us to waste money on players that a position that we don't really need at the moment.
Yeah, so the Champions League final starts in 11 minutes, actually. Right? I thought it was 2 p.m. Am I right?
Yeah,
No
it's
idea.
starting.
I'm not
Yeah, it's
watching.
starting in a few
It,
minutes.
it shows how much we care, coach.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, we want to watch. We see what maybe they will lose. Yeah, but all right. Cole Palmer definitely stay starter. I think you have a better. He's gonna do a lot better under Xabi Alonso. Gittins, I'd say squad. Let's start with squad, but which means keep. I think he's gonna stay. He has it in him. He was always going to need time, and I think the only stumbling he picked up form actually. He started doing better, looked more confident than he looked when after he arrived. I think he just needs time. If you knew him before he signed for us, you'd know that he has it in him. He's an excellent dribbler, can also shoot with left or his left or right foot effectively, and can create for his teammates too. But I think he's not matured enough. He needs that maturity to become more of a creator than a scorer because he's a winger. I think he would do well. Probably I could see him playing as one of the tens. I think he's capable. He has it in him. So I'd say keep him as a squad player. He regains his fitness and proves that yeah he should be a starter. He gets a chance. Anybody thinks otherwise on the panel?
Nope, that's exactly right. Yeah, he definitely deserves. Well, he hasn't really got a good run at it, and yeah, I expect him to be a lot better next season.
Yeah, I don't think anybody disagrees. João Pedro definitely a starter. Um, yeah, definitely a starter right here. Uh, and Mark Gee definitely sell immediately. I think it'd be a win
I,
for
I,
him and us
I
too,
have a question.
because
I have
we're
a
just
question.
wasting his talent. Go ahead.
Yeah, now I'm just looking at the Barcelona situation, right? They wanted Alvarez, and then it seems like Atletico Madrid doesn't want to sell him. So let's say maybe they push for João Pedro and he hands over a transfer request. He wants to leave. Do you think Chelsea will do that? Because that's my only worry at the moment, even though Chelsea made it clear that it's not a for sale. But again, if they make a big offer, will Chelsea sell him in terms of João Pedro? Because
I,
Barcelona
If he
want him
I
wants
as
to
want
well.
leave,
I want to answer
if he
that.
wants to leave and he's
Uh,
pushing for it,
João Pedro is going nowhere.
he's going nowhere.
He's going nowhere. I can assure
And
you
it
that.
doesn't look like he
But,
wants to go.
but Barcelona are where he's going nowhere. Do you think that Atletico Madrid can stand fast on Alvarez, and Chelsea, who needs their player more, will not stand fast on
João
João
Pedro.
Pedro? I mean, sometimes I think we overrate this. Oh, not having Champions League football. There is a financial aspect to that, but there are some clubs that I mean, they know it's not going to be a situation that will last forever. And being a season without Champions League football is probably going to help João Pedro, is going to help his international career. And that's not happening. So, you know, these Chelsea fans that are getting all panicked and that, I know the transfer window is long and often there are twists and turns and surprises, but the Chelsea ownership cannot afford to let that happen. Trust me. They cannot afford to let it happen. They're already in dire straits. They're already having to tone down demonstrations, potential explosions on the stands. They're not going to want that heat. They're not going to want that heat. They're already umming and ahhing how to deal with the Enzo Fernandez situation because fans are not happy with that either. You don't spend 106 million to frustrate a player out of the club. So they're on thin ice with the fan base. And you saw how they quickly announced Xavi Alonso after the FA Cup nonsense. That was a placating thing. So forget the João Pedro thing. Those are our detractors trying to push that story. These guys know they can't afford to do that.
All right, since the Champions League game is starting in a few minutes, I think we're just gonna catch up with the chat, call it a day, then do part three and round off with this the tier list, and then start focusing on transfer news specifically. All right, let's see. Kiesman was awful for us. 7 goals. That terrible. It was so bad that Mourinho had enough of him starting for us. Plus, he couldn't adapt to the Premier League. And Richard is saying here, Lavia is a baby, 22 years old. We need better physio than quickly discarded them. Yeah, I agree. Then quickly discarding them, I agree. Man City and Man U had a low injury level than us. We keep having the same players injured. That's on the medical team. That's some quick judgment there. And Jay says, exactly, another single 90 in 3 years is unheard of. Sorry, he needs to leave. But it's not about leaving. What happens if he leaves? On the term I know you're mentioning, like Chelsea just sell him for the sake of selling him and take a huge L. I don't think the club would want to do that. And plus, he's still young. It's not like if he stays one more season, his valuation drops because he's older or he's going to be no more. You can say his selling value will reduce. That's not the case. Left Chelsea in the summer of 2007 due to a difficult relationship with manager. But yeah, he had injury issues too. Plus Florent Malouda's arrival meant that Arjen Robben had to leave Chelsea for Real Madrid. That's just what you think happened. In my opinion, it's neither a loan move or sell Lavia. I don't think Chelsea are going to sell him now. That's my opinion. I'll just give this guy a proper strong defender. Let's see what happens. All right, too many. Let's go. Yep, too many. I don't think we can continue right now. Apologies to you. Can we all agree that we want Arsenal to lose? Why not? Who wouldn't? I get it, even if they win, it'd be their first one, and we have 2. But who wouldn't want them to lose? Anybody else with anything else? We can continue with this. Let me save it so we don't lose it. Get it done. We're not focused on transfers. Go ahead.
Richard Jules, you're gonna have to change that photo when you say stuff like that because you're all in red. I see. So
yeah, exactly.
Red. Yeah. So I don't want to see more red photos, please.
All right, Jay saying absolutely loved what Atletico did. Yeah, the trolling was next level. Yeah, I like that. 2 Spanish clubs have built a habit of bad practices to destabilize players of other clubs. Yeah, and Atletico, yeah, their retaliation, I loved it, really. Any other thing you guys want us to talk about? So let's call it a day.
No, all good, coach. I'm all good.
All right, with that, we've come to the natural end of this particular edition of the Blue Morning Show. Thank you to Mabas05, MB05 for joining the conversation. Thank you to Richard Hughes. I appreciate you. That was a family Christmas picture this year. I will be in whether my wife wants it or not. That's a good one. You don't have to apologize. But do a blue one. Would rather a blue
Definitely
one.
blue, man.
Yeah. So my other rapper, thank you for joining the conversation. Who else was here? Rich Money Makers was here. Of course, on the panel we have to be good, and we also do have. We had who? We have our senior panelists here in Bobby, and also Constantine Dunn too, the captain of the community. And if I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Stand. I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end. Blue till the end, we rise again. pressure comes down hard. We don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Yeah. Ooh. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stays even through the storm. From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the